Hello there, and welcome to another episode of Hail to the Chin, the companion podcast that goes alongside the Ash vs Evil Dead television show. Off the back of episode 2, but episode 1, El Jefe, see, I got it right that time, was a great episode. Quickly sum it up before we go into the next one. What did you guys think?
Yeah, it was absolutely solid return to form. Obviously, they hit every note that you'd expect from anything from the Evil Dead franchise.
Yep.
It didn't disappoint in the slightest. The pacing was perfect, and it rounded out a solid 45 minutes of television. And not to alienate any listeners, but Sam said in one episode it was more fun than, what was it, 5 or 6 seasons of a certain other show?
Yeah, The Walking Dead.
No! Not yet.
What?
So I was being really careful there not to say the name of the show.
Oh, right, never mind. Anyway, episode
it rhymes with stalking Fred.
Explain, obviously, you know, that's just Sam's opinion, and it's kind of my opinion as well. But Dean, obviously, you're a massive fan of the other franchise, but we don't talk about other franchises.
Fuck yourself.
Anyway,
let's get on with episode 2, Bait. I'm ready to go when you are, guys.
Yeah, we've all got it frozen on the Stars Originals Presents. 3, 2, 1, go.
Go.
So if anyone is listening along to it, this is when you press play now as well on video.
Very I felt this episode felt rather Evil Dead 2 to me. Now, even the intro is pretty much Evil Dead 2, isn't it? We're just bringing everybody up to speed of what's occurred.
Yes, it's very reminiscent of a lot of the stuff from Evil Dead 2. Obviously, with a bit more continuity this time, because actually the backstory matches the previous episode.
Yeah, precisely.
But actually, I was going to actually ask you that. What
I could never get enough of that Ash diving at the chainsaw.
Chainsaw, it's fucking glorious.
Even as a still picture, I just want to mount it on my wall. It looks great.
Yeah,
I want that on a T-shirt.
It's definitely something to take to Comic-Con and get signed, isn't it?
With continuity, quickly, do you think? I mean, I don't know. Has anyone actually heard the canon of this series? Do they discount Army of Darkness? Because obviously, without the mechanical hand, do you think they just, and without obviously the footage because of the rights issues and that, do we just write off Army of Darkness from this, or is it? Do you mean is it continuation from Evil Dead 2, or the S-Mart scene at the end of Army of Darkness?
It's an odd one, and I guess you can only really find out by asking the producers and stuff. But it was it Sam that came to the conclusion that he believes Army of Darkness is obviously under different rights, and it's all a case of whether the rights are there or not. Because I brought up, why the hell are we not introduced to a metal like hand? But
is it in like the flashback sequences, and you know, like in the last series, you had the projector and things like that. Mm-hmm. They've all been Evil Dead 2, haven't they? There isn't.
Yes, practically, yeah.
So it must be something to do.
There has been Evil Dead 1 in there.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. It's majority has been Evil Dead 2, but you are right. There are both still in there.
All right.
Yeah.
Never mind. But this was making me laugh, this scene, when I watched it the first time around, because it was just like, no matter what, Ash is still a pillock. You know, he's just still an idiot. You know, like, how many times has he been through, you know, basically like been at war with the Deadites and things like that, yet here he's like, oh, lights flashing, I can hear noises. Oh, must be nothing still, you know. What's that? Oh. Is he not? Is he not learned his lesson on what?
Nothing
4 or 5 occasions now?
Oh, Lisa, I haven't learned a thing.
Would you seriously be getting your trailer ready and your car without your boomstick in your fucking gun holster? But then at the same time, if you think of Army of Darkness, there's the scene where he comes out of the pit with no shotgun on his back. So it's never like Ash is ever prepared at all. You know, he might have quick wits, but he's never prepared.
I think, do we need to translate the word pillock for any international listeners on this one?
A dumbass.
It makes me wonder as well, when the camera focused on Kelly just leaving the trailer park then, why did they really focus on the Mossy Haven?
Yeah, I thought that. When I first saw it, I was like,
it's really prominent.
Is that a nod back to something? Or?
Yeah, I racked my brain.
I couldn't think of anything.
I can't think of anything, no.
It feels almost already with this episode, you can you can really see the directional differences between Raimi and the current one. I can't remember off the top of my head. I think it's something Bassett, I think his second name was. But you can really tell, I guess, the difference in caliber. It feels more of a TV show than it did, say, like a sort of a bit of a movie than the first episode did. It feels very TV show.
I think we had this because me and Sam had this discussion when we were sort of like talking about Supernatural, the same kind of thing. How sometimes you either get two kinds of pilots. You get the pilot that is really, really low budget, and the second episode stands out like a mile once it's been greenlit and it's got the budget, or it's the other way around where they pump a cinematic style budget into into like a feature length pilot, and then it's business as usual because the budget becomes consistent throughout.
Yes, the fact that they had Raimi on board as well, they probably pumped a little bit more money into the pilot just to kick it off with a bang.
Oh, that's
true. Yeah. Well,
it's like, as you said quickly with Supernatural, the first episode, the pilot was in 16:9 and high definition. Then the second episode was just the TV episode.
Yeah.
But it still looks great. This
scene is absolutely fantastic. I love this.
It feels so Evil Dead 2, but TV show-esque. I don't know how else I can explain it. It's just over the top in the best way possible, and obviously because this has got a really rocking soundtrack. We didn't really mention the actual soundtrack, obviously last episode, and that. But I obviously being a Supernatural fan as well, I really like the fact that it's got a really heavy rock soundtrack. Yeah.
To make it just like this adrenaline-fueled kind of road kind of movie as well. It fits.
It's mate. I'll tell you what. I'm loving Pablo as a side character. He's just had his head smashed on the dashboard, and he's still sitting again. You told me I'd know what to do, but now I don't know what to do.
Oh, this is just fucking. This is just Evil Dead, isn't it?
Yeah. It's fucking.
This is South Park level of blood. Like, remember that couple of seasons of South Park where they just went big over the top. Everything had twice, 3 times as much blood as it needed to.
It's like Evil Dead where he just gets Evil Dead 2 when he just gets like the fucking hosed down.
He gets dragged into the cellar and all the blood everywhere. But I think we were just all focusing then on that don't lose your head quote, and then just just brilliant.
I know. Was it? Did you say that, or did you say thanks for the heads up?
That's it. Sorry, thanks for the heads up.
Yeah.
I like how just freaked out Pablo looks.
But he has, hasn't he? He's walked straight into the Evil Dead franchise, and is basically now a mainstay.
Yeah.
Do you mean it's like within one episode you're like, what? This is the guy.
Yeah.
He's nailed it.
Did you ever play Evil Dead Regeneration?
Was that where Ted Raimi did the little side?
That's it. Yeah, half Deadite, half human, wasn't he?
But although
that was just Ted Raimi.
Yeah.
But although it was just it's a game and that, it just seemed that Ash having a sidekick worked well.
Yeah, it did. It
that
really
he could just
did.
bullshit back and forth with, and it seems to work really well in this as well.
He almost feels like an even younger Ash from, say, if you could look at if you could take Army of Darkness and Evil Dead 2 Ash, blend them together, but like knock 30 years back off of them, that's to me exactly how I think a young Ash would react to obviously this era Ash if they somehow met,
Do you know what this? Sorry to interrupt you. Just quickly, this scene reminds me a lot of Drag Me to Hell with the finger, and it's funny saying that because not only that, but her in the previous episode when she went back to the crime scene, that reminded me of Drag Me to Hell. Not only the scene, but because she had the car from Drag Me to Hell.
Yeah. So many little nods already in this episode.
Yeah, and the business card, like the bookshop, it reminds me a bit of the guy in Drag Me to Hell. What's his name? He's like the tarot card reader sort of.
Oh yes. Sorry, I do know who you're on about. He's the Indian chap.
Yeah. I watched it the other day. I can't remember his bloody name.
See, I love this as well though because something always looks great about when they use like sets. There's something just I don't know. There's a different atmosphere with the lighting.
Yeah.
And it feels very. I mean, even like sort of even just every shot in this really with the lights, it feels really sort of like reminiscent of like something you'd see from either like Twilight Zone the movie or something. It has that like real 80s kind of feel to it. It's a bit like the windmill, that really creep. They love like a really creepy sort of like the clock, the windmill, just that something that's natural.
Something as an indication, a peripheral that's an indicator in the movie of something.
Yeah, it's not doing anything creepy because a windmill does just spin and a clock does tick, but then it stops, and that's when something that's normally
goes off a bit.
Yeah. But I was just going to say, because I can't remember what the conversation was. I was going to say, going back, it's really funny when you go back to watch Evil Dead 1 and sort of Ash is speaking, and half the time it sounds like his balls haven't even dropped. But then by now, Bruce Campbell was like got the smoothest, deep voice going.
It's still, I don't know how to explain the feeling, but I don't know whether anyone else gets the feeling. It's just I don't know what it is. I can't even explain it, but it's so cool that is still the original car that has gone through all of the movies, every single movie. It's just mind blowing.
Did you see the? Oh, this is funny.
I like the needless American flag in the background, like Spider-Man 3 style. It's like.
What's it she says that cracked me up?
State of them.
I just. Pablo kills it. I love him. I love just how he casually throws his chainsaw around.
Yeah,
that's
what it is. Yeah. I just me and my chainsaw arm. So how do you make an excuse for that? Do you mean how do you...
I was expecting fancy dress party or something, I do like how stubborn still and on like in focus Ash still is. Like he's got no sort of what's the word? All right, we know what he's been through, but he still just doesn't give a shit. He's just like, I'm in these people's home, like that's still like a Deadite, and he's just so sarcastic and ignorant. It's so cool.
He's just so cocksure and full of himself,
Yeah.
Yeah, he's right though. Surprisingly, most of the time.
And another little nod that I don't know if anybody's noticed is the fly that keeps hovering around the mother is clearly something straight from Drag Me to Hell as well, because flies were prominent whenever that spirit was around.
Maybe that's something Sam Raimi wanted to add into like the original Evil Dead, but obviously never had the effects and
maybe so,
stuff like that. There's no way. But then without obviously CGI or a very well trained fly.
I was just about to say I don't think we get any fly trainers in the 70s.
Actually, what was the film where they put a bee they put a bee in the fridge and then took it out, because when you put a bee in the fridge it goes to sleep, like hibernates. And then they tied a bit of fishing wire around its leg and they were able to control its flight path with that wire. The chin's
Isn't it funny as well that the ID sketching that they use looks so much like the character Ash in the first ever Evil Dead PC video game? Literally looks exactly the same.
Yeah, the chin's too small though. It should be like a caricature.
Massive.
She's like just caricature, like a giant chin. Just not what chin.
Yeah, they should have just turned it upside down. I'm looking forward to her character picking up speed as well, as she's just sort of dwindling along at the moment, trying to make sense of exactly what is going on.
Yeah, at the moment she's like 2 steps behind everything, isn't she?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, the windmill-esque.
What did you prefer, actually? I mean, with the designs of the book, because there were like 3 designs really.
Yeah.
It's like the first book in the first film gets put on the fire. Then you've got obviously the Evil Dead 2 book, which is pretty much the one that we know today, and then you've got the new book without the face from the remake.
Yeah. I think I prefer the second one because the Evil Dead, the first one looked
cheap.
Well, it looked suspect. It did look cheap. It looked like it was ready to fall apart. Where, in my opinion, the book they're using here in the Evil Dead 2 book, they look like they're a legitimate sort of made book that should not be touched. You know, it's not just a raggedy, whacked together piece of shit. It looks like it is something and belongs somewhere. You know.
I mean, the first bit it did. It looked really, really sort of like handmade.
Yeah.
Less like a proper, more like something where you've just grabbed a notebook.
Yeah, it looks like an occult of some sort have like written a book, you know. Whereas, like you said, it isn't something that's just been put together.
See, watching it back a second time, you can sort of see this is probably where Ash is putting two and two together because of the fly. He probably noticed the fly, and then when the door opens and you get Pablo,
closes
it. Yeah, goes to close. You see Ash sort of like look towards the house, like very suspect.
Yeah. This is again just why we all love Ash. He's like Steve has said as well. He's a cock. He really is a cock. He's a dick, but he's so self-arrogant. But he's fucking correct all the time. Yeah. He's like the guy that you want to hate, but you'll sit there and just be like, fuck's sake, I wish he wasn't just so correct all the time.
Well, that's the thing, though. He's on a mission. He's got shit to do. He hasn't got time to say his P's and Q's.
Yeah.
Like, to mind his P's and Q's. He's got evil to kill. You know.
Yeah.
Just that simple.
I like the continuity as well with the set. You looking around, you can see the blood through the window where the axe took the hand apart. You can see the
spray,
the gun hole. Yeah, you can see the gun hole through the head hole even through the cupboard. You know, I quite like it. I'm glad they're keeping continuity still.
For once.
Because you could easily just forget something and the audience would excuse it because they'd go, it's Sam Raimi. It's funny because he did that. Ash pacing up and down like, we're just inspecting absolutely everything.
I mean, but this dinner scene is straight out of Drag Me to Hell.
Oh, of course, yeah, where she goes and visits the boyfriend's mother.
And she makes the cake, doesn't she, with the eyeball in.
That's such you could just see the fake blood as well, can't you?
That's why, as you were saying last episode, that's why I think all of us agree that Drag Me to Hell is in the Evil Dead universe.
Yeah, it's part of the universe.
You know. I love the cowardness of the dad as well.
Yours is pretty good.
the lightning.
Yeah.
And you can hear the like weird noises.
I mean, obviously the angles, I don't think they don't come as sort of like frequently in this one, but it still has the essence of a Sam Raimi sort of directed.
Yeah, like the angle shot on Ash when he's looking obviously sort of bemused at something in the faded background, and as you look closely, and sorry, the little winking at Pablo, like. And just the angle just slightly tilting and stuff. It's kind of Raimi-esque, but at the same time, you can see it's not Raimi himself. And the very close focus. You know, the really face-to-face talking.
Yeah.
Saying about you, Dad.
But it leaves that suspense though, because you are just like, oh my god, he's being such a prick, and you know he's going to do something, and it's like, what if he's wrong?
Yeah, you kind of want him to be wrong, don't you?
You kind of do, yeah.
Because you know it's going to come out with some awkward one-liner, or Ash is just going to act like Ash. Oh, another fly. Yep. I wonder how many people do in fact notice that has to be something from Drag Me to Hell.
I never noticed it the first time around watching it. It's only now watching it that I noticed.
I noticed it immediately.
Mm.
That punch though, what a right hook, or was it a left hook? Oh, it was a left hook, wasn't it? Yeah, of course.
Well, he could have hit her with his stump.
Mm-hmm. The Deadites just look so good, don't they?
I think this is one of the best ones actually so far.
Yeah. Like, she looks like she's been dead for like months. That body looks awful. It doesn't look newly possessed, does it?
No, that's it. It was what was it? So basically, we're talking about being like drowned for like she drowned like ta-da!
That's a fuck yeah, ta-da! That's a killer scene though, isn't it? And it emphasises just how Stars have given the whole team behind Ash vs Evil Dead like the reins of the show. Do what you want, make it as gory as hell. It's Tango, bitch.
I love this gun cam.
That is good. That is a good shot. I do like that.
Especially when he reloads.
Yeah.
You would have thought by now it would have come up with some sort of quicker way to reload his shotgun.
Was anybody expecting an Army of Darkness-esque sort of, we're just going to throw a reload sound in the background. We're not going to show him reloading or the awkwardness.
Yeah.
That scene as well.
Whoa.
Chainsaw with the fucking table was beautifully executed.
Actually, sort of thinking about sort of like big kitchen knife and dagger. Whatever actually happened to the Kandarian dagger? Because like the last thing we saw of it is in Evil Dead 2. It's in the back of Annie, isn't it? After the hand stabs her in the back, and then that's pretty much it fades out. Really, I mean, I know you've got the book, so keeping track and having to needlessly write in two artifacts could be a bit of a pain. But it'd just be interesting to see that come up again at some point.
Very big nod here as well to both the first two movies. I don't know if anybody picked up. We all know the song that Kelly's mother's singing. We all know how she is.
Yeah.
Does anyone notice the music in the background? Listen closely when the music kicks in. Not just yet.
Wait for it.
So obviously it's a scene. It's Linda. Linda, obviously from Evil Dead 1. The scene. Listen to. Do you know the violin music?
Yes. Yeah.
It's the exact scene where Ash is hitting her in the doorway, and he says, "Why are you torturing me like this? Why?" And then the music kicks in of her running up to him and hugging him. It's the exact same music, or at least a recomposition.
Same with the remake, isn't it? Where she's in the in the cellar.
Oh yes, of course, yeah. Because that was the nod.
That's the great thing. It's having all those elements.
Yeah.
Put in for fans.
Another thing that I was meant to mention during the first scene down in the dining room, I love the sound that they use of the murmuring chainsaws still in the background. It's so nice. It's so good. The ridiculously corny, campy screaming. I agree with you as well, Steve. This is so far the best Deadite.
Yeah, I think it kind of seems like if they had a budget or like some of the ability to do the makeup now, that's more kind of what Shelley might have looked like in the first film.
Yeah.
It's also the fact that it's Mimi Rogers as well. If you're gonna do a Deadite good, might as well be. Oh, fuck.
It's almost, if you look at it, it's almost like an opening episode for Pablo, isn't it? In a way, because we're all sitting here already. We're all just like, Pablo's nailed it. He's a great companion character, and there's a lot of focus on him doing things and finding himself in the situation that he's in right now. Ash being Ash as he usually is, but
I love this bit. This is like again, like when I think it's Shelley pulls through the dagger.
Yeah.
She gets stabbed, doesn't she? And then she pulls it through her.
Can you imagine if she licked the knife? Everyone would, like Steve mentioning, where's the Kandarian dagger? It would have been almost. I thought that would have been a great nod if they just added in it for her to lick. Oh,
I just love the amount of blood that's just flying all over the place.
I was expecting Ash to go down through the head. I was expecting that, but what is to follow is, I think, is just 10 times better. Like the execution is just brutal. It really is fucking brutal, isn't it? Oh.
I know there is again, obviously there is CGI, but there's also so much high fructose corn syrup dyed red.
So much corn syrup.
None of the cast really. They are getting the Bruce Campbell treatment in this. They've signed up for an Evil Dead, and they're gonna get splatted.
The Raimi torture.
I love that Ash always makes crosses. He just, he's always got, just.
He's lucky he knows how to make a cross,
He's always got a supply of string and stuff, and sort of some good sturdy sticks. Just knock up a quick cross.
He's got a chainsaw for an arm, so he can get the sticks.
It's just so funny how he sort of just seems to pull them out of nowhere half the time.
The quotes. It makes no sense.
I think it's just Ash philosophizing, sort of trying to make himself sound sort of really super intelligent.
Yeah.
And make himself sound more important than he is. He is the biggest thing in the world.
It's like he does something and then he realizes, oh, I did this, and thanks to me, we're safe. It's like he tries to justify that with a quote, thinking he's going to be awesome, but then he just screws it up, and he's just like, yeah, I still look like a dick.
You were saying again last episode, sort of obviously Bruce Campbell just still looks the part. He's just still such a cool dude. Yeah. And I was
he's always been Ash though, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. And I was looking. What did I see? I watched the other day. I came across some Tremors 4 or something. Tremors 4 or 5, and Jamie Kennedy's in it, and he looks like a Deadite.
What, in real life?
In real life, he looks absolutely awful. Like Bruce Campbell, how just cool and smooth. He still is. And then Jamie Kennedy, obviously, Randy from Scream, just looks like shit. Just to throw that in there, it's just something you said last episode. When you were sort of man crushing on Bruce Campbell.
And a really good use of the windmill again. Just to let you know, we're just one step behind you again, Ash.
Books from Beyond.
The soundtrack is so impressive so far too, isn't it? It's really sort of stonery AC/DC rock, like
psychedelic.
Yeah.
It's got that real Generation X to it, hasn't it?
It's got it's hard to pinpoint. It's something that I would expect Tarantino to use in movies,
Well, that's the closing credits and that, they're just very Tarantino-y. But even it's a Raimi trait as well, because going back to Drag Me to Hell again, it had they put the old Universal logo on the start of it and things like that, didn't they? And the credits were very retro as well.
Well, it was very they done it with Drag Me to Hell, like how can I like right at the end of Drag Me to Hell, like, and also right at the beginning and end of the Evil Dead reboot was the really prominent logo, like the sort of it kind of ties in with the end of this episode.
What do you mean when it starts up and it's just an
instant
the
boom.
end of the opening scene, it's just like dun, dun,
yeah.
I mean, even like a film which was owed a lot to the Evil Dead films was Cabin in the Woods, and they done it as well, didn't they?
Yeah, they done it too. Yeah.
It all goes back to that sort of like vintage horror and sort of like grindhouse inspiration.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of getting to with the soundtrack. It's really it's sort of that style ties in with each other, like the really bam, like this is where we are, this is the film now, and it's still just the cheesy little, like you just said, psychedelic music to it, all sort of intertwined so well. And again, that intro of the Evil Dead reboot, and as well as using it in Drag Me to Hell, is again another representation as why we can include Drag Me to Hell in the same universe as Evil Dead.
there's nothing in the film to say it couldn't be. You know, it's demonic possession and things like that. It's, you know, when they do the it's not the exorcism, is it? It's like the seance scene.
And
the demon comes through and things like that. The goat
looks exactly like the deer.
Yeah, and you know when who's the guy who gets possessed and he's like dancing around?
Yeah, that's brilliant. I love that.
He basically looks like a Deadite, you know.
It's completely out of how he's hanging in the air, and it's exactly the scene where the Deadites are talking in Evil Dead 2, where they're like, "One by one we will take you," and you know that are hanging in the air. It's just literally copy paste, but done properly.
The handkerchief is the hand, and that, you know.
Yeah.
So, how does everyone feel with the second episode?
Yeah, it's great.
It's great. It's everything you want, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't as long as, like Sam had pointed out, it wasn't as long as obviously the opening episode, but that always happens with most TV shows. But it still didn't let off. It still felt Evil Dead. You know, it's like they were paying homage to the past in perfect ways, in my opinion.
Yeah, they've gone for a sort of like solid half-hour sort of time slot of just splat stick entertainment,
yeah.
you know.
Perfect.
Whereas, you know, you don't need 45 minutes of it dragged out. It doesn't need to be sort of like
well, it's a 90-minute film, and now they've got, you know, 10-episode series, so it's not like they've got to drag it out. You know, they've got more than enough time.
It felt to me, really, to sum up my opinion on the episode, it felt very much like it was quite an episode that was really gelling Pablo into the position as to what he is, and I thought that was quite prominent with how we were feeling about Pablo through the episode, as he was just finding his feet and becoming Ash's companion. Because obviously at first Ash is just like, right, I'll catch you on the flip-flop, see you later, I'm not interested in you helping. Whereas even now Ash realises he's got people that are intertwined in this mission in getting rid of and dispelling the evil for good. Pablo knows he's in a position, and he's probably as in a sort of in a road to nowhere kind of life, and now he finds something that he's probably been sort of, he's found something that he's now a part of, you know. He's working in the value stop, going nowhere, the same place as to where Ash is, and now they've sort of found feet with each other, you know. I thought it was a very strong episode in introducing Pablo as a companion for Ash.
Yeah, I think the next episode is it's entitled Books from Beyond, and obviously we see the Amanda character going in there at the end, so I think that's going to be her episode, you know.
What's the betting that it's going to be? You know, what's the betting that maybe we might even see an actor from Drag Me to Hell, seeing as they're going to be approaching someone that deals with books in the occult, and then obviously we had the medium that was the person that was trying to dispel of the girl's possession.
The Lami.
What's the betting? There might be a huge nod to Drag Me to Hell when it comes to that, or even some fucking characters.
Oh, I'd love it.
I'd
fucking love it, mate.
I fucking love it. Right, anyway, I guess we'll wrap this episode up unless anybody else has got something quick to add to the last episode.
No. You know, it's sort of we're up and running now, so
yeah. Steve,
series is off and running.
Yep, series up and running. Really enjoying it. It is pretty much everything I expected. Everything I wanted. The only way it could be even better is to have a quick Darkman crossover.
Cool, yeah. Could you imagine? Yeah.
Spider-Man swings past.
So yeah, books.
Topher Grace just pops up and pops out.
Books from Beyond's the third episode to come, airing the 14th of November. It's not letting up, is it? It's not letting up. It's still balls to the wall.
Can you imagine if they somehow got Topher Grace to be a Deadite? That would be absolutely awesome.
You could sorry, Sam. Was you just
go
about
ahead.
to say?
No, go on.
Well, I was just about to plug our social medias, but go on.
No, I was sort of saying I was going to do a similar thing, but I said what we're going to do, not only we're going to do the series sort of here and there, we're going to have sort of some special things we're working on, which I don't want to drop until they're 100% confirmed. But we're also going to do commentaries for the original trilogy and Drag Me to Hell, and just drop them in here and there. And we're going to be working on some other stuff for our YouTube channel, which not only going to have these commentaries on and that, we're going to do some like cool little videos. We're going to do some, we're going to do some things for the comics. The comics. collectibles. I know Steve's got a fucking Raiders of the Lost Ark sort of style, warehouse just full of Evil Dead VHS tapes.
Absolutely. I don't think we're able to get a shortlist address for our YouTube channel at the moment, but you can go to @Hail to the Chin on Twitter, and why I express that 2 is the number 2, so that's Hail to the Chin. You can go there to keep up to speed with like episodes dropping, but you can also find a YouTube link on the Twitter page as well to our channel. But yeah, expect a lot more to come from the channel and a lot more to come from us as. Okay, we're doing a companion podcast with Hail to the Chin, but also, like Sam has expressed, we're gonna open up to more channels in the Evil Dead universe.
Yeah. So this is gonna be a companion podcast / series, but also, it's gonna basically be a companion / series for the whole universe. Comics, video games, Drag Me to Hell, and
absolutely.
Yeah, and any questions, just drop them to us on Twitter.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, though, anyway, guys. As we said, next episode, Books from Beyond, 14th of November. Looking forward to it. If you've got this far, thanks for joining us, guys, and we hope you're enjoying it.
Yeah. Cheers, guys.
Peace out.
Groovy.